Hello. Everyone, welcome to Rumshot Diaries, day 3 of the third and final test. Guys, firstly, before we get into it, it was a mess of a day. Nikhil, Michelle, how are you guys doing today?
What about the cricket or life?
Oh, both. We're flexible.
I'm not good at any because I have an exam tomorrow, and the West Indies are not doing anything good.
So, Michelle, how's it going for you?
Do you know what? I hadn't watched any of the cricket up until I think 2:30 was the first ball I saw of the day. I was listening on the radio, and it all went downhill from the minute I started watching the cricket.
Okay,
that's what's fine.
A very, very disappointing day of cricket. The tour's over, The players. I said it yesterday. The players look tired, man. Well, not yesterday. When I wasn't on it yesterday. When I was sending the message to them, they look tired, man. This tour's over. People want to go home.
You know what? Yeah. You know what? I was saying on our last few episodes that you needed to have someone who hasn't played yet just to bring that energy. I don't know if you guys saw like Josh De Silva when he came on. He was just on it, like happy, pumping up. Like when he caught Burns, he was celebrating like he won the World Cup. Like it was crazy. So I think just that mentality, having some freshness, whether it be Bonner coming in or whoever, just that change in body language mentality would benefit the team, because as Michelle said, they look shot at the moment. They just look like they want to go home.
And also I saw Keon Harding, Shamar Holder, these guys also on the field today. So yeah, I don't know if that indicates that the guys are tired or I don't really know what's going on.
Everyone was fielding today. Reefer was fielding. Everyone was on the field today at some point.
I think what's to note is that what we have to remember, and I'll tell everybody this. Yes, I did say, I expect us to do well and stuff. And I honestly think we've done well in the series, but at the end of the day, we have to remember that I think we don't have the resources to be able to play 3 back-to-back tests. It's very difficult. And I just don't think we have resources. Yes, I agree with Santo Kid. I'd like to see some changes, but I could only work with what the selectors put out there.
Nikhil, if you pull up the first comment from Shakespeare, that kind of sums up what being a West Indies fan is at the moment. So Nikhil, Shakespeare says, "Evening all, just finished 3/4 of a bottle of Rivers. This thing is done."
Listen, as soon as I saw what's happening today, I had to draw for the Ray and Nephew. When you watch this type of day, West Indies cricket, there's only Ray and Nephew can get you through it. By the time this episode is done, I'm going to be swaying left and right. I can tell you that right.
You know what's an actual madness? The fact how it was almost certain that everyone was saying it was at least one day was going to get rained off between Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and we literally had 3 full days of play.
Yesterday I said that I have to have a word with you because there was no rain.
Yeah, and they're saying it's going to be rained off tomorrow. Listen, this match is going to be over tomorrow. If there's like 2 hours of play tomorrow, it's over. The only way that we can save this test match is if we get a full day off, and we can get our heads together and come up with some. They're still going to lose, but the only way I can see it is if they get the whole of tomorrow off and they can just spend a day away from the test match, not thinking about cricket, and like planes called off at 1. They know they're not going on the field. They can get their heads straight and come up with a game plan. I would still expect them to lose, but that's the only way they get out of this.
Yeah, and I think you could see it even with Root delaying the declaration. He was even though he was probably thinking, even if a day's washed out, he'd back the team to bowl them out in the day anyway. So as long as they can get in 70, 80 overs, you feel England will be very confident they can bowl West Indies out easily. And that was kind of evident at the end of the play where we saw 2 wickets score. I mean, admittedly, Roach was a night watchman, but we saw Campbell get edged as well by Broad. And I think we have to give credit to Broad, though, to be fair. This has been a fantastic all-round performance from him, I'd say, so far.
Yeah, Abhilash, you're right. But listen, I can't stand Broad. I think he's one of those wind-up merchant cricketers. But
you know what, though?
Even though I can't stand him, I respect his ability.
Yeah.
But I can't stand him personally on how he comes to cricket personality. But
You know what, though? If you look at whose wicket was it where he done the celeb appeal, where he just carried on running. He done a fist pump.
Ruston Chase.
It was Chase, yeah. He didn't even look at the umpire. He just backed himself. And then I guess that's just his character. I mean, he's obviously famous for the Ashes where he edged it and he didn't walk. He just backed himself to stay. So he's that kind of guy. You're either going to love him or hate him. But
yeah, exactly.
I'm with you, man. I have to respect.
You look stressed, boy. Nikhil, you look
Nikhil, what's going on?
You look more stressed than I am. I'm trying to put a face on it, but Nikhil looks down and Nikhil.
Arsenal got the win though. Arsenal won today. At least, come on, man.
I think the reason like it's hitting me is because I bought these guys a lot in ahead of the series. So I'm someone that don't really like to get it wrong. You know what I mean? So.
You know what? Michelle, Arsenal Fan TV, when they pull up like those videos of troops going mad or something, we need to get Nikhil when he was saying we were pessimists and West Indies were going to win. And then contrast it with what's happening now.
Nikhil, I've not seen you like this. After every single day of every test match, you've been the most positive person on here. And now the roles are reversed. I'm super positive, and I'm saying, boy, you never know, No, but you know what? We were saying. I'll let Nikhil speak after this year. We were saying, obviously, me and Michelle are slightly older. We've been used to seeing West Indies constantly losing tests, so this is nothing new to us. Nikhil's come up through age of optimism, so I can see why he was optimistic about this. But I think me and Mash are pretty much immune to whatever West Indies provide at this point. Yeah, they can't hurt me. They can't hurt me no more. I've seen every single type of defeat there is to see. So to me, this ain't even a big one. Like at least I won't bowled out for like 54 or something like that. Like this is calm. But let's because in fairness, Nikhil, when you've recovered your composure, there is a serious thing that I want to address, which actually is about looking at the positives. Because I actually think there's an awful lot of pessimism about this side. Because they're basically about to lose.
You should have seen yesterday though. I actually had to call it out. I think as West Indian fans, we need to do a way better job of. Yes, I know people said they're not a transitioning team. It's been together for 4 years, but I think we need to do way more encouragement of this side. A lot of good young talent coming through. And listen, we said ahead of the series, yes, we want the West Indies to win the series, and it's not over yet. 2 days of rain, you never know, right? But what I'm trying to say is that we've competed. And usually you would see a test where the West Indies get rolled over all 5 days. There's been days that we've won away from only the first test. So I'm still happy with the performance. Obviously, I'm just kind of down because I expected us to really fight in this third and put it all out there. But the guys are tired. As I said, I just don't think we have the resources to be able to compete in 3 such tight-knit test matches.
I think
sorry.
I just know, just what we reiterated yesterday. At least we've seen an improvement from my perspective from the 2017 tour. So it's not all bad and gloomy at the moment for West Indies.
Let me touch on that. I wanted to leave that till the end, but let me quickly touch on that now. The comparison to make isn't with 2019. We were at home in that game, and yes, okay, it was still a brilliant victory. No one really expects us to beat England, but we were at home. It is a completely different kettle of fish to go away to England and beat England in England. So when people are saying, "Oh, but we won the last series," no, you're making the wrong comparison. The comparison you have to make is what happened the last time we came here. And the last time we came here, we lost 2-1, won the famous Headingley test, and got smashed to pieces in the other. I think both tests were over in 3 days in the other 2 tests. In this test series, we have been. Okay, maybe this particular game you wouldn't say competitive, but we've never looked out of our depth. Whereas this is the first test series in England since 2000 where West Indies haven't looked like they're out of their depth against the opposition they're playing. So I think people need to always keep that in mind when they're looking to criticise and only criticise what's going on. But we can touch on that later. Rahul says Shea Hope scored VVS Sydney style. Oh, he's saying that he's going to. Come on, man.
VVS Luxman.
Come on, man. I'd take Shea just getting 50 right now.
I wonder what the stake is to bet on Shea Hope scoring 100 tomorrow. I might invest some cash.
You want to lose some cash?
Boy, I don't even know if I think the only thing he can do to retain his place is get 100. Chatil, this is a good question, actually. Let's unpick this one. When hope is it?
What?
No, what's he mean?
when Pope has been a night watchman his whole Test career apart from one match. I think he means going at late.
Yeah.
But I think because Alzari worked so well in the last one, they might have thought, maybe Kimar.
But I understood that decision. I wasn't unhappy with them doing that. So yeah, can't say that. Shakes, I have to walk back my questions from Dowrich earlier. Felt your show. Thank you. And actually, let's pick on that. Nikhil, I wasn't on yesterday, and you might be shocked, Nikhil, to see me back going so hard to defend Dowrich. And I tweeted about it this morning. The criticism Dowrich has received has been shocking, absolutely shocking. This guy has been our best player over the last 2 years. The man got 2 ducks. Everybody wanted him out the side.
and they say about his big keeping. The thing is that Josh Butler struggled the same way, so I couldn't even believe that.
So yeah, a gutsy 37 coming off last night where he's flopping all over the place against the short ball, and he would have got more if he wasn't batting with Gabriel. He had to hit out at that point. So a gutsy knock from Dowrich there. Who's multiverse boss?
I think John Campbell. John Campbell.
Why is John Campbell multiverse boss?
Because Chris Gayle is universe boss. I don't know. Broad put 6 wickets in 6 overs today. Yeah, Broad is something special. I honestly think, not to be pessimistic or anything, but to be real, I think, listen, if Broad played that first test, boy, it would be a completely different situation. Well, this was suboptimal.
Yep, you could say that.
Broad has improved.
Well, I don't know about a person, but
I think Broad is on 499 as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Don't forget who Broad's dad is. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
What's his dad's name again?
The Chris Broad, no.
Chris Broad. What was Chris Broad was he a bit of a prick as well then? Like what? I don't know.
He's the ref, isn't he? Isn't he the ref for this match, or he was the ref for one of the matches?
He's a match referee, but I don't know. He wouldn't be he can't be the match referee for this match, surely.
Yeah, the first. I'm sure the first test he was. And the second maybe, but I don't know.
Listen, I think Shannon Gabriel, when his test match is over, I think he's going to be so relieved. Like, the guy has put in some real hard work. He deserves a break.
Yeah, I've got some stats to read on that actually. Let me find them. I want to read some stats to you. So in terms of overs bowled in the series, this was up until we went back into the field. This is all of the bowlers in the series. Roach has bowled 113.5, Holder 106.5, Gabriel 98.1, Chase 90. Then the first English batsman in the list is Bess 65. Now, but the thing is, so I was sent that to kind of say the reason that person sent that to me was West Indies only have themselves to blame. They've overbowled their bowlers. They should have rotated. Now, my response to them was, what did you expect us to do? 3 of our best bowlers are like, we've got 3 bowlers in the top 20 in the world, Roach, Gabriel and Holder. You really mean to tell me that the reason you think West Indies lost is because they didn't rest those 3 bowlers? Who are we going to bring in and still be competitive? And that's no disrespect to Chamar Holder. That's no disrespect to Raymond Reefer. But the reality is, England took out their bowlers. They've got 7 in the top 40. They took out 2 and brought in another 2 who are equally as good. We cannot do that. So I think it's a misnomer to turn around and criticize the West Indies and say, why didn't you rotate? You've got so many players there. None of the other players have ever played a test match before. So what was I don't understand what people were expected to do. After we won the first test, were people really not going to complain if Gabriel had been dropped after he took 9 wickets? Or rested, I should say, after he took 9 wickets? That doesn't make any sense.
No, here's the thing about this, right?
So David's just said it in fairness. Now, David's my guy, but David, come back. You've just heard what I said. If they had rested Gabriel, I want to see what Santoki, you and Nikhil say. If they had rested Gabriel, West Indies would have been cussed out for why they were resting Gabriel after he'd just taken 9 and they'd just won the test match. You don't think so?
Yeah, I think, they definitely would have, because it would have been like, why he's had the momentum, he's got the momentum. And if he hadn't had any obvious injury problems, they would have said, why have you left him out? But let's not forget also that second test, up until day 4 we had a good chance of batting out a draw, really. So it wasn't as if we got demolished. So it's fine margins, as we said at the top of the show. Fine margins has kind of changed the narrative on this whole series, I guess.
And look, I think in the second test, the West Indies sat down and said, "Listen, we need to go for this now. We've just won. We're coming up, as we just said, momentum." And in the second test, yes, things didn't go our way, but when you go and ask the bowler how you're feeling, and he says he's ready to play, how do you? And he's one of our best bowlers. How do you go against that, right? So yes, we could all say Gabriel needs resting, etc. I think maybe we should have put the team in front of Gabriel, but at the end of the day, if he's telling Jason and Phil that he's fit, but look, I don't even think it's only Gabriel. I think the entire team overall is just tired, and I can't fault them too much for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's not forget they've been away from whatever their partners, their families for nearly 2 months now. So that could obviously play a factor as well, because it's basically isolation for that period. So they might just be yearning to get back now.
To be fair to Broad, that was the Ashes test in which Haddon complained endlessly about Broad not walking, and then didn't walk himself. The final stage of
Nikhil, that's for you, because I've accepted. Listen, I accepted years ago.
No, I ain't accepting. I'm not accepting. No way. You're telling me accept that what? We're 1-1 in the series away to England in a COVID-19 time. What am I accepting? I can't take this pessimism, man. I can't take this, honestly.
You must forgive and accept that. Forgive them.
Nah.
What's happened?
That's why when Hope and Bradford score hundreds on day 5, I'm gonna come on here. I'm not even coming. Cancel the run shot. I'm not coming. Simple as. I'm not coming. Nah, seriously though. What give up? What? It's 1-1. England, one of the best destinations in the world. I can't see. I think, as I said at the top of the show, we're way too. I don't even know if pessimistic is the right word. It's unreasonable now. Honestly, you're being illogical. Sorry.
Yeah.
Do you think Shane Dowrick should bat up the order? Maybe swap with Blackwood. I think Blackwood. I listened to Blackwood yesterday. I was really impressed. As I said to yesterday in match, I was really impressed with the way he. But yes, I know he got out. Probably could have played a better shot, but he looked solid at the crease. Honestly, he looks in good touch.
I think there is something to be said, though, and we can maybe do this in the wrap-up show after we lose. But
what?
I
don't do
the first stage of grief is acceptance. Man's accepting out here. But no, when we do the wrap-up show, there is a serious now conversation to be had about the makeup of the team going forward, and that's not just about Hope being dropped. I now mean specifically looking at Holder and Dowrick and saying to them, "Listen, for the benefit of the team, each of you go up now." Because
I think it will help our balance a lot, but I'm just worried if they're capable enough. But
we won't know now unless they do it.
Try it, yeah.
We'll always be asking the question.
Since Hope is never getting dropped, do you still think he's supposed to get priority for the CPL? Does the same thing repeatedly doesn't give a different result? But Shea Hope in the CPL last year was excellent. When he only played a couple of games, but I don't understand what this person's trying to say. If Shea Hope is undroppable in the CPL,
no. Here's what I think he means. I think he's saying should Hope
go to the CPL.
Oh. Yeah, I think he shouldn't.
Listen, I want to speak on this.
How important is Hope to Barbados Tridents? He's not even needed, is he?
Of course he is, Marshall. What are you talking about? He's not needed.
Did he play every single game last year?
He was injured last year. He played the last 3 games.
Who was wicket keeping with
Johnson Charles? It was Johnson Charles. We had Lenico Boucher. Charles definitely kept for a big part of the tournament.
Okay,
but
so
I think Charles is work. Can I say something?
Just answer this question first. If you have a fit Shea Hope for the Tridents, is he in your 11? No matter what?
He is. He's in the 11.
Okay, fine. In that case, then he has to prioritize CPL. I thought he wasn't necessarily a first choice. That's the reason why. Okay, fine. Fair enough.
Let me tell you something, though. This is why I think people fail to understand. Yes, Shea Hope is having problems in the red ball format. But let's not forget, this guy, if he doesn't play any white ball cricket, doesn't necessarily mean that he's just going to continue being the best, one of the best ODI players in the world. You can't neglect the white ball format because you're struggling in the red ball. Now, I'm not saying get in a bit more red ball cricket for a class, etc. But how do you tell a guy stay home from earning food and earning a living for himself at a CPL? Not just to prepare for a red ball, but I'm just trying to say he's still a white ball player. He's not just a solely red ball player that's just going to have fun in the CPL. So I think we need to.
Sorry, Santoki. Actually, I actually think on the flip side, Shea will enjoy not having to be under the scrutiny of red ball cricket and will enjoy the freedom that CPL brings. Yes, there's still pressure, but it's a different kind of pressure. Sorry, Santoki, you were going to say something.
I was just going to say, but there's no alternative. There's not any. What else could he? I guess play county cricket would be the inclination.
I like that. Whoever it was that tweeted today, one of you guys that said about send some of the West Indies players to the county league. I think that would be really. I like that suggestion a lot.
Yeah, I'm hoping some county teams are watching and have thought, maybe not all of those players are playing CPL. So let me think of Alzari Joseph is. Let me think
Shane
of
Mosley, for example.
Jamal Brooks isn't. Yeah, Shane Mosley, Jamal Brooks, Carl Mayers is. Shane Mosley, is Keon Harding? Did he get a deal?
No, Sunil Ambers, Keon Harding.
Like all of those type of players, a county could hit them up and say,
Craig Brathwaite.
Yeah. Do you see what I mean? So maybe
I think these guys are gonna need a break though. Honestly, being away from home for so long, it's tough for them to go right back into a county. What has been so different?
I was going to say what Johnny Grave was saying is the players on this tour are going to go back home for the weekend, and Monday they fly straight to Trinidad for the CPL.
So Monday and Tuesday are the two flights leaving.
So wait, when are you going to Trinidad?
Well, I'm not. Well, probably sometime next week. The week after, sorry. Same time around the players and stuff. Hopefully, if all goes well.
Cool. Right, Chatil, let's unpick this because Chatil, I think that's harsh. Chatil's saying, what's so different from 2017? 1-1 match, just as 2017, and thrashed the next two. Nah, I think that's harsh. Because listen to what Santoki said. The second test, it was fine margins. Up on day 4, we were 199 for 3 and coasting. And if we had carried on like that, we would have batted England out of winning the match. Stuart Broad came on, he does a spell, we collapsed to 289 or 90 or something like that, and that's what changed the test match. If you go back and look at the highlights of 2017, we were never in the game in the other 2 test matches. One of those test matches, I can't remember which one, there were 17 wickets on the foot on one day or something ridiculous. So come on, there's a complete difference between what happened in 2017 and 2019.
And when we go out there to bat and stuff, I just don't feel like we're gonna just get run through. I actually think we put up a fight. So I think that just the feeling alone is much different to what we've had in the past.
Even this test though, when we had England 280 for 8, boy, just take those 2 wickets. If Broad doesn't go on a rampage, then it's a completely different game.
It's a completely different game. Fine margins. Great connoisseur. Thank you so much for coming on yesterday. At least you got to see De Silva come on today. Yeah, he looked really exciting. Happy.
You know what? Yeah, we have to mention. Shout out Mike Atherton for the mention.
I was about to tell you.
Because he mentioned Nasser Hussain was talking about De Silva playing for old Wimbledonians, and then there was a pause, and I was thinking, all right, is something going to get mentioned here? And then Atherton was like, yeah. That's not even me being cocky. It's just because I guess there's not much out on De Silva, so you'd have to kind of reference that. And
good job, guys. Honestly,
it was good to get that mentioned. And
for those who are listening, we do have a plan to get Michael Atherton on the podcast, so look out for that. Won't say too much more now, but do look out for that. That will hopefully be coming at some point.
All right, guys, we have a lot of comments, so let's get through quick because it's already 23 minutes soon.
Yeah.
I'm more disappointed because England are an ordinary test side, and as their rankings show, they don't win tests at home. Listen, that bowling lineup isn't ordinary. I can tell you that.
You know what? Yeah, let's not forget also that for the last since 2015, England have placed a focus on white ball cricket with the World Cup bearing in mind. So this is the first year where they've really focused on Test cricket as a priority. So you're going to see them improving massively. And I wouldn't say they're an ordinary team; they've been very good as well.
Let me show you why they're not ordinary and why people need to put some respect on England's name. England haven't lost to anybody at home.
Look at this.
Since 2000. That's the point I was going to raise later on. Listen, so my friend who messaged me and was like, West Indies are to blame. They haven't managed their resources properly. This is management's fault, blah, 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 blah. My response to him was, Australia, who have Steve Smith, recognised as the best test batsman in the world, who scores doubles and hundreds, couldn't beat England. And he was supported by other batsmen getting hundreds.
David Warner, Martin Labuschagne.
We haven't had any batsman score 100. And we don't look like we've got a batsman who can score 100. So I really wonder if people have an issue with realistic expectations around the West Indies. We don't have a gun batsman. We don't even have a Joe Root. Steve Smith is a next level to Joe Root, and we don't even have a Joe Root. We don't have a How are we supposed to? Anyone who's listening now who genuinely thinks West Indies have screwed this all up, explain to us how West Indies were supposed to win when they don't have a gun batsman at all in English conditions.
And let's not forget India. India lost 4-1 when they came here last, and that was with Kohli, Pujara, all these guys who played county cricket as well. So yeah.
But do you know what it is, Santoki? It goes back to that point you and I were discussing. People judge West Indies by the name West Indies. They don't judge it by the quality or the correlation between the two sides that are playing. So that's why I think that's why there's always extremes in opinions about them.
I want to ask you all a question. Now that we've seen 2 innings of Raheem Cornwall, do you think he should have? In watching the highlights here, he did play a nice drive off short ball today. But do you think he's merited his place, or do you think we should have left him out?
I'm glad he got his play.
Yeah.
The only thing I will say to mitigate, and actually he was unlucky. He got a ball to the. He did get. I can't remember who was it. Burns. He did get someone out today, but Brathwaite didn't review it. I thought Raheem bowled better in the second innings than the first, and remember the batsmen were attacking him in the second innings. I think it was right for Raheem to get a goal. Best hasn't bowled any overs for England at all, so I don't think it's fair to say.
Yeah, the pitch doesn't have much.
Yeah, I mean we got nothing to compare it against, so I don't think people should rush to judge him on this. That's true.
That comes with experience as well, I guess. Yeah. Sherlock Holmes, is this one of your friends, Nikhil? I hope 100 coming, guys. No tension. Guided.
He's upset, boy.
No shame. And yeah, as I said yesterday, I don't see too many batting lineups being able to handle.
I would love to know which batting lineup in the world. And I think the word that we use is this bowling attack that England have got is relentless. Imagine you've got Anderson and Broad with a new ball, followed up by Archer's pace, followed up by Wilkes, who actually's got what? Isn't it that Wilkes has got to 100 wickets quicker than anybody else in England? Come on.
They didn't even have to use Sam Curran, Sam Curran's excellent as well. So it's just like the amount of depth.
The bowling lineup's so good, Stokes hasn't even had to think about bowling. Do you know what I mean? Come on, we got to put things in perspective.
What as well is, if you remember when England played the Ashes in Australia and they lost, they lost 4-0, isn't it? The English media and fans put it down to the fact that Australia had Hazelwood, Cummins, Stark, and Leon bowling in tandem, and it was ruled down to that. So I think West Indies as well. We have to be realistic. It was their bowling attack was amazing. We can't say it's the batsman's fault completely at this point.
Thank you, Chatil. Ben is saying the batting lineup looks a lot stronger with Hetmeyer and Bravo coming back. Need a new opener though. Shane Mosley, Joshua De Silva there. Remember, England are very good at home, not even India, as you just said before.
So all right. So say we play South Africa in September, which is being mooted. What do you do with Bravo and Hetmeyer?
So I'm going to go first on that. Firstly, I'm actually agreeing with Nikhil. Shane Mosley to me is now the incumbent opener. I think Campbell's dropped. Jamaican or not, he's my guy.
Should we leave this? Should we leave this for day 5 or? Yeah, let's leave it because there's a lot of comments. So let's leave it.
Yeah, let's leave it for day 5. Yeah, let's leave it for the end.
Bring back Kieran Powell.
I mean, we've done a podcast with Kieran Powell, so anyone who's never heard that, go to the podcast page and listen to the podcast with Kieran Powell. That's worth a listen only because Powell explains in his own words why he thinks he deserves a recall. I'm not gonna say yes or no. I'm just gonna say go listen to it, and you can listen to what he says.
Yeah, and this is what Santoki says. You know that new finish. I think if you had put out a couple new names, you know what I mean. I mean, obviously they're not as experienced, but it would have been cool. In Germany,
I was saying that the apple does not fall half on the steam.
So who's the shit in that sense, Leah? Come back to us.
Totally agree on Gabriel. He's given so much energy and effort. Considering he's coming back from injury, that's a monster effort. I mean, yeah, we have to applaud his effort as well. In coming back. All right, Kartikea. So Kartikea, Masho, I think he's from Jamaica, isn't it? Kartikea says, I know a lot of us are downcast, but I love the discipline everyone has shown throughout. The only way from here is up. So loving that optimism from our resident Jamaica fan, Kartikea.
If Joshua De Silva just clipped off the Bills, Joe Burns was on 12.
Who's on 12?
Joshua De Silva missed a stumping off our chase when Burns was on 12.
I didn't see that.
I did.
Yeah, it was wide outside the off stump, and he just couldn't reach. It's unfortunate.
All right, next one.
If concussion substitutes can bat, why injury substitutes cannot?
Yeah, it's a good point actually, and I was thinking about that when Dowrich went off, but it's just not part of the rules yet. And maybe players could fake injury as well.
Yeah, I was going to say it's easy to manipulate at that point.
We've got a lot. Yeah, exactly.
They will have 3 years left at the most. When will West Indies throw young bowlers in the kitchen to face the heat? Well, I think they'd have to play alongside Roach and Gabriel. I don't think you could leave them out of the team now because they're still only
a lot coming through. Just saying.
Really, right. Just quickly touch that as well. Gabriel's 31, Roach is 32. The reality is, Alzari Joseph is still learning his craft at the moment. So next on the line is Chamar Holder. So
Harding.
Yeah, so it's hard until we play weaker nations. It's gonna be hard to say, oh, now let's give a bowling lineup led by Alzari Joseph. So give them time. Give them time.
Marquinhos Minley as well. If South Africa comes to play,
if the tour gets confirmed, we'll do a preview show about that, I guess.
Yeah.
Are you setting callings?
What, letting people in?
Yeah.
Right, come on then.
Now? Do you want to come on now?
Yeah, come on. Sabina asked a question. Come through. Sabina, you have to, if you're on Twitter, go to our DM us on Twitter, and we'll send you the link. That's the only way we can do it, I think.
West Indies always give hope at the start and take it away. What could Phil do to improve this?
Listen, go on.
No, I was going to say, I mean, for me, Phil Simmons has improved the side. I guess the hope is just down to expectations, really. All he can do is improve the side as much as he can based on the abilities of the players.
Yeah, and what I want to add to that is there's that question's actually a bigger question than you realise, because it's not about Phil Simmons. That's about how we structure domestic cricket. It's why I tweeted that thing today about getting some West Indians to play in county cricket. It's a whole lot more than just what can you do before a test series and get players ready. It's about the whole structure and the whole system in developing West Indian players. So bear with us on that. I'm hoping to have a very special guest come up on one of our future podcasts who would be best placed to answer that question. So I don't want to touch too much on that just yet, because I've got somebody in mind who can probably answer that better.
Should cut the team some slack.
Yeah, which is what we said.
How we take 2 wickets all day and they take 2 in 10 minutes.
Well, West Indian does get it. Yeah,
Jason Holder.
Would Holder?
Yes. Jason Holder will play instead of Wilkes, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. If England played this team, Jason Holder would replace Wilkes. And
Craig Brathwaite?
No. Yeah. Craig Brathwaite at his best, yes. But this Craig Brathwaite until he's back at his best, not necessarily. Other than Holder, no one.
So just Holder and Archer then. Why did Hope change?
You tell us. You tell us. And actually, no. Was it Ian Bishop? Ian Bishop said something on comms. It was yesterday, which is a very good point. And he basically said, if you look at Hope's career around 2017, he did well against Pakistan, did well against England, did well against Zimbabwe, and then West Indies travelled to New Zealand, and Neil Wagner bounced all of them out. And Bishop was basically saying, he's not saying that was the only reason Holt's had problems, but he says that was the first time he noticed Holt struggling in Test cricket. But if I'm Shai Holt, all I'm going to do after this video is I'm in Barbados. You know what I'm doing? I'm going to Desmond Haynes and I'm saying, Desmond, work with me one, just me, my one self, and take me away, set me up on some camp. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Shai Holt will come back in the West Indies testing. He'll come back stronger, but he just needs now a mentor or someone to go and work on what he needs to work on.
All right, let's whiz through these questions then, because we got quite a lot still, I think.
Yeah. Hope is the first team in ODI, but not Test cricket. Let Bravo or Brooks bat at 3. Even Martin Samuels. All right. Too far.
All right, next one.
What is the plan for the test specialist? No CPR or test rate for them?
I guess it's just gonna be to rest and maybe train with their PCL teams. I know Guy and the Jaguars are doing training at the moment,
and as well as Trinidad. England have played 25 tests away in India 5 years and have lost.
Yeah, so that 17. Shows you just in general how hard it is to win away for any team in the world.
Yeah.
190.
Far too many apart.
I think the problem is, obviously, we've said this numerous times, myself and Masha. Obviously, the media always talks up the old players, but also if you look at the intervals that play during Sky Sports today, it's always reflecting on the 80s and the 90s. You don't really get that with other countries. So there's always going to be this comparison until the kind of media agenda changes, from my point of view.
Last couple, what might help Shea is getting an IPL contract.
I
don't think he'll ever get an IPL contract.
But but look at the second part of what he's saying, because I actually agree with that part.
Yeah, I think spending time, for sure.
What some of our young players, if you speak to some of the young players, what they always talk about is
how much they learn,
how much they learned by just being in a franchise with who was look at what's his name, Guyana have helped so many of those of the Guyanese Amazon Warriors franchise players. Similar with, I can't remember who Barbados had last year. Was it Dumini that they had last year?
Yeah. I can tell you firsthand, JP helped so much of our players.
You can't underestimate what that experience does for young players.
The thing is, you have to get there, right? It's tough.
All right, next question. All right. Well, I guess that's the.
Puran's there. Yeah. Big up Puran. Yeah.
Where's Chandapur and Pollock?
Which Powell is that? Oh, Kieran.
Kieran Powell. Yeah.
Given the technical difficulties in batting, is Reefer the most suitable coach? His technique wasn't great either. I think he's just there for a short-term break basis. Monty
Desai is the actual batting coach, but he's based in India, so couldn't travel. Just for everyone's reference.
Oh, that's
okay. Yeah. Now I get it, Leah. I get it. Sorry.
No way. Man.
Yes.
No way, man.
No way. You don't think so?
Masha, Santokhi, yes. He's better than Ben Forbes and he's better than Butler. And the Red Ball for sure.
Just better than Butler in Red Ball. I think he's better than Butler in Red Ball, 100%.
Right, and he's better than Forbes as well, so Forbes is their next keeper.
Butler just suits the attacking nature of the England team. He's that reckless guy, man.
If England didn't like Butler, he would have been dropped ever since. Honestly, all those innings failing, yes, he got a 50 and stuff, but Darwish is better. Is this West Indies good enough to compete with middle-ranked teams?
I think yes. At home, definitely.
Even away.
That's why I want the South Africa series to happen, because we shouldn't be judging ourselves based on whether we lose a test series to South Africa. It's about England. It's about what do we do at home against someone like South Africa, because I actually think they're now at a stage in their development where at home against the middle ranking teams, they should consider themselves favourites to win.
Yeah.
Roach gets in ahead of Best as well, or Chase. I think Cornwall are Best. Chase are Best, probably Best. I think they'll still go with Best.
Yeah, they would. But Chase is better than, but yeah.
All right.
And he's also one more. Johan Botha and the Tridents has Steve Smith as well. Yes, that's true. And the last thing, hundreds for Chase and Blackwood on day 5.
Oh boy, I think this guy's been on the run all day.
What rum are you drinking, Bersha? Boy,
I'm not giving out yet, man. I'm not giving out yet.
He's on that Duppy share.
I'm not giving out yet. Where is Duppy share, Marshall?
This Duppy share, they don't respect what we're bringing to. They don't respect what we're bringing.
Man. Sad, disrespectful.
All right, guys.
Very, very, very sad.
We'll wrap it up there. Tomorrow we may or may not have Rum Diaries, depending on how the weather holds out. It's forecast for a complete washout, but as the series has shown so far, anything can happen. If there is a full day's play, you would expect England to get through West Indies batting lineup. But stranger things have happened, so stay tuned, and we'll catch you all hopefully tomorrow. Take care, guys.
Peace.